I started playing golf for the first time in June 2021 with no prior experience. Fast forward to today, May 2024, and I have just got my handicap down to an 8.8. This is the lowest it's ever been, and in this video, I'm going to break down the key things that enabled me to achieve this.
So the first thing I want to talk to you about is understanding your limitations. As high handicap, mid handicap, low handicap golfers, we're all good at certain parts of the game and maybe not so good at other parts of the game. And it's important that you understand which bits you're good at and which bits you're not. Because if you try to play to your weaknesses, you're going to score badly. Now, we've got an approach shot here, maybe 50 yards over a bunker. This is a tough shot, probably a shot that most mid to high handicappers would not like to play. All they'd be seeing in their mind's eye is this bunker. So trying to play the perfect sand wedge over this bunker when you might not be too confident with your sand wedge probably isn't the greatest idea. But if you are going to play this shot, you need to do one thing. You need to accept the risk that you've taken. If you play this and thin it into the bunker or thin it off the back of the green, you can't get mad, you made the decision. But if you want to take the challenge on, then go for it. I took the shot on, it got over the bunker, it didn't make it to the green, not a great shot. But I can't be mad because I chose to play the shot. However, if I'd chosen to just understand my limitations and not go for the Hollywood shot, maybe I could have taken a 9-iron and played a really simple long bump and run shot here and got on the green and given myself a 2-putt. That's back of the green, 8 to 10 feet away from the pin. Not a difficult shot. Yes, I'm probably not going to get it that close that often playing that shot, but I am going to be on the green more times than I'm not, and I'm definitely going to 2-putt that more times than I'm not. Playing like that, making decisions like that, sensible decisions that you know fit with your technical capabilities will keep your scores as low as they can be. Now, I'm not saying don't try to get better and don't try to learn to play more technical shots. Do that if that's what your motivations are, but don't try to do it on the course when you know you haven't got it in your locker yet. Understand your limitations. Right, the next point is to work on your ball striking. I think a lot of people that shoot in the 100s or the 90s, this is where they lose a lot of shots because they hit too many shots. This can be fat, thin, topped, anything, shanks, the dreaded S word, and that shot doesn't actually progress the ball up the hole. So that can be a massive issue and basically just adds shots onto your score. So to fix your ball striking, you need to work on two key things. The first thing is hitting the center of the club face, and the second one is controlling where this club actually bottoms out. So obviously we want to hit the ball out of the center, and we want the bottom of our swing to be after the ball, so that we get a good, nice, crispy strike. Now I've got two really good drills for working on these, so I'm going to run through them both for you now. So the first drill that we're going to be doing is going to be working on where we actually hit the club face. Obviously we want to hit the screws in the center. This is going to get us the most speed with the least amount of effort. And to do that we can use impact spray. This is actually foot spray for athlete's foot, but you can get impact stickers or you can get sprays that are actually specifically designed to be used on these, but it all works the same. Basically all we're going to do is put a light covering on the club face, and then I don't know if the camera is going to show that, but now we've just got sort of a dusty coating on the top of that club. What this is going to enable us to do is that when we take a shot, we're going to be able to see where we hit the ball on the club face. So let me take one here for you. And again, I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but we can see that I missed that just toe side of center. So that wasn't a perfect hit. Now obviously we'll get away with that, clubs and things will help us, but at least we've got the feedback. See, a lot of the time when you're doing drills like this, you've got no feedback. So I could tell that that didn't feel quite right, but I don't know where. Until I start doing this and I start building my own awareness of where I'm missing on the club face, you're not going to get any better. So now I know that that feeling was more of a toe miss. Let's see if I can get a heel miss. I'm usually pretty good at these, so this shouldn't be too hard. That goes literally just heel side. It's hard to see with the camera, but it's just heel side of centre. And again, that one started sort of straight, peeled out to the right, was a really weak strike, didn't get much distance, particularly for an 8-iron. But again, I've got that feeling now, that felt closer to the shaft when I hit it. So even by using this spray, you're just going to build that feel for where you missed. The second drill I've got for you is going to help you work on that low point control. All you need is a towel. So all you're going to do, you might have seen this one before, is set the towel up on the floor and put your ball. It's up to you how far away from the towel you want to place the ball, but essentially all we're trying to do here is make a swing, not catch that towel, and then hit the ball. So obviously if you start with like a 3-inch gap to begin with, this should be pretty easy to miss that towel. And just looking at the spray, that was right out the middle. But that was dead easy. So that's good. If you are someone who chronically fats the ball, start off with a large gap and start to make it smaller. As you get more and more comfortable, work your way back to sort of, I think really the most that you want to do is maybe an inch, half an inch, because otherwise you are just going to start catching the towel. But if I put this really close, so it's barely behind, barely in front of that towel now. So I'm looking for ball first contact here. I mean, that one came straight off the heel, but you can see I didn't touch the towel. Whereas if I fat one, you can see that towel is giving you that feedback straight away. And this just helps you build, like I say, half of these faults with golf is because we've got no feel for them. We hit a ball, we see it go badly, but we don't know why from what we felt on the club. Doing drills like these are going to give you that feedback, that aha, right, I know what I did there, I hit it off the heel, or I hit it off the toe. And there's going to be clues in your shot, and there's going to be clues in how it feels as to what it is that you've done exactly. If you've seen a big slice, it's probably come off the heel. If you've seen like too much of a move like a draw shape, more of a hook shape, you've probably caught it on the toe. If it feels like it's not really bounced off the club, you know for certain that you've missed the centre. And to be honest, what I do with both of these drills is use them in conjunction. So I'll get the spray, give the club a coat, and then I'll use it in conjunction with the towel. So now I know that if I'm hitting the centre and not catching the towel, and my strike's getting pretty good. I think I actually just caught the towel there, but the strike was great. So again, you can work on edging that low point forward by making sure that you're still hitting the centre of the club face. And I promise you, if your ball striking gets better, your scores will come down. Another thing you can do to work on your low point control and where you strike the ball is use a divot board. Now I've used a host of these over the sort of 3 years that I've been playing, but this one's been sent to me by a company called GAFFER, and to be honest, it's the best one I've seen yet. So how it works is, you've got the layout of where you're trying to hit, the ball in the centre, obviously in the 2 lines of where you set up with the club, and as the club hits the mat, it will show you where you're hitting on the footprint that you've got. Now there's a few things that you can decipher from this. Obviously where this starts to turn over is where the club is starting to bottom out, and then where it is in relation to the centre of the club face, you can figure out if you're hitting the centre, the toe, the heel, whatever. So the beauty of this is that you don't even need a ball. You can just put this down anywhere you are, no ball needed. And this will give you feedback on exactly where your club has hit the mat. And you can see, just from using this is how I've been able to really work on my strike. Going to the range and actually hitting the balls is a different thing, of course it is, but first of all you need to get that feeling of setting up to a ball and then hitting past it, because that really will improve your strike. And now these mats have been fantastic. Like I say, I've probably used 2 or 3 of them over the time. I've used the Forb one previous to this, and it's more of a felt material. And to be honest, it doesn't hold up anywhere near as well as this one has. This one's more of a sequin thing, and you can see I have battered this thing. I mean, it's had daily use and it still works flawlessly. It's still got plenty of life in it, so I am really impressed with that. So the guys at Golf Gaffer have actually sent me 3 of these over to give away on the channel. So if you want to be in a chance of winning one of these, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then head over to our Instagram page to find the post about the giveaway. You have to do all 3 of those things to be entered into the giveaway, and I'll announce the winners at the end of the month. So if you're interested in doing that, head over there. You can also pick one of these up yourself with a discount code that they've given us for 10% off, All the details will be down in the description if you want to give them a check out. Huge thanks to Golf Gaffer for sending the mats over. The next key thing that you need to understand is that you have to have a good grasp on your distances, how far your clubs actually go. We're down here at Woolies par 3, we're going to play a short par 4. I'm going to tee off with this 5-iron, and that's going to leave me some sort of wedge into the green. But when we get up there, I will know which wedge that I need to use based on the distance. So let's hit the tee shot and see how far I've got left in. So good start, let's see how far we've got left in. Right, decent tee shot. Let's zap the pin. 91 yards. So I know that my sand wedge goes about 86 yards and my 50-degree wedge goes about 105, 110. Depending on balls, what balls you're using, conditions, lies, things like that, they will all affect your distances, but you should have a good rough estimate of how far you're going to hit a shot. So because I'm in the rough, it's slightly uphill and there's a little bit of wind, I'm going to take a 50-degree wedge and just accept that this might go a little bit long. But I do know that I'm going to be able to get this club there. I'm not guessing. And because I'm not guessing, I can commit to the shot. And as we thought, that's probably a little bit long, but I'm on the green and I'm putting. So let's go see where it is. So good shot, I've tugged it left and missed probably about 5 yards long, but not a bad shot at all. And just through knowing my rough distances, I've given myself a really good chance of making a par here. And to be honest, nowadays, there's no excuse to not knowing your distances. You can go down a lot of driving ranges these days. They'll have TrackMan or Top Tracer that will give you good carry statistics. You can go to it. There's more and more simulators about these days. And also, launch monitors have become a lot more affordable. So if you're going to do anything, make sure that you go down to one of these places where you can do your distances. Either jot it down in your phone or take a pen and paper with you and just get some rough distances for how far each club goes. Nice easy par, all from stress-free decisions made by knowing how far each club goes. So the next point that I want to talk to you about is not falling into the YouTube rabbit hole. And if you've ever done this before, you'll know exactly what I mean. But there is a whole host of educational content on YouTube around teaching people to swing this metal club around them, and it can be overwhelming. Now, there is not a video on YouTube that is going to make you instantly better. Trust me, I've tried. I do think educating yourself on the golf swing via mediums like YouTube can be really helpful, but actual improvement will only come from physical practice and putting in those reps. You need to be down the range or down some sort of practice area, putting in that time to get better. Honestly, just watching a video, you're not going to get better just by consuming the content. I wish it was that easy. So I think the best way to get better is to get professional help. They will point you in the right direction of the areas of your game that you need to improve to get better, and then you can use a resource like YouTube to help supplement that around the areas that you're trying to improve. Now, I personally think the best way to get professional help, if you're just sort of a casual golfer, is to start with Swing Tweaks. Swing Tweaks is an app on your phone where you can simply record a down the line and front on view of your swing, and that gets instantly sent to a PGA Pro, and within a day or two, you will have personalized feedback on your swing and drills to do to improve your golf game. It's really, really simple, and it's a fraction of the price of using a PGA Pro. After you've had your swing tweak back, you'll then know where to invest your time in order to get better, and they'll also send you some links to some drills to do. But again, if you've got your favorite YouTubers that you like to watch, as far as educational content, you can go to their sources of information and check their videos on the issues that you now know you need to fix. It's a much easier way of getting better, and I fully recommend it. If you want to check out Swing Tweaks, I'll leave all their details in the description. They've also given up and down viewers a discount on their first tweak, so make sure you head over there and check them out. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is putting. Now, putting has been a weak area of my game for a long time, until recently. And the thing that's changed it, and some of you might not be surprised that this has worked, but lining up your putts. When it comes to putting, there's really only two things that matter: getting the line right and getting the pace right. Now, a lot of the time, what I was doing with a putt is I would stand behind the ball, generally eyeball a spot on the floor that I'm trying to hit and then pick my pace. And now the issue with this is, as soon as you stand over the ball from being behind it, everything is different. Everything looks different and you start second guessing everything. So now, instead of being stood over the ball, literally concentrating on the pace, I'm now thinking about the line as well and second guessing it, as well as trying to get this club back on a good angle. Not a good recipe for a good putting stroke. So what I've started doing is, first I bought some balls that have a nice clear stripe on them, but obviously you can draw that on. And what I will do is I will line this ball up exactly where I want to hit it, and then that is the line taken care of. I don't need to think about the line at all anymore. So once it's lined up, all I've got to think about now is hit that ball in the direction that I pointed the line and just get the pace right. And a good tip that I've had for the pace is think about rolling that ball. If you were going to roll that ball to the hole, you would be constantly looking at the hole. You wouldn't be down here doing this with your head down, not looking at where you're hitting it. You would be looking at that hole and you'd be trying to feel how far exactly it is that you need to throw that ball. Most of us can do that, right? No practice needed. I've holed it from 12 feet. Do the same thing. Make your process, line up the putt, get a line that you're happy with, and that's it. Line's taken care of. Stand over the ball and imagine that you are going to roll it. Feel the pace that you need to hit that ball to get it to the hole. What, 4-inch short? Left myself a tap in, and sometimes they'll actually drop. And that has made a huge impact to my putting. I've honestly started to two-putt more and more. I'm not saying that I'm good at making one-putts from any sort of distance, I'm not. But it has got me a lot closer to the hole on those lag putts. And if you can get it closer to the hole on the lag putts, tapping in the short ones is also a lot easier. So definitely one I'd recommend, even though it's super simple. Get yourself a shot for around the greens. High and mid handicappers miss the green quite a lot, so you need to get good at getting the ball somewhere near the hole from around the green. Now I think the trap that a lot of high mid handicappers, maybe even some low handicappers fall into, is trying to get too cute with this, too complex. I actually think you only need one shot around the greens. A sort of one shot fits all sizes kind of thing, and that you use in pretty much all circumstances, unless it's like a really weird shot. And you've probably guessed which shot that is. It's the bump and run. Now the reason that I'm picking this is because it's really easy to play and you can change it up relatively easily. So here I'm going to play this with a sand wedge. With green side, I've got a pin with a little bit of green and a little bit of first cut. I've got loads of room to get this close. So I know that this sand wedge is going to pop up a little higher. It's probably going to check a little bit and it's not going to roll out quite as much. So I need to carry this probably about halfway. Not the greatest, but I've still got about a 6-foot putt there. If I needed a little more roll, all I need to do, keep the exact same technique that I've used there and just use a little bit more club. So for example, a pitching wedge. I could carry this a little bit further, or about the same, to be honest, because I don't need to carry anything, and this one should roll out a little bit more. The slope on the green's taken that one away from me a little bit, but you can see that it was a relatively easy shot to play. And again, I've probably got about 4 foot for the putt. If I had all the green in the world to work with, I could use an 8-iron. Like, this is what I mean. If you've got room to roll the ball up, the sooner you get the ball rolling, the less margin for error there is. So I can really carry the ball to around here, get this ball rolling up to the pin. And I could do that with an 8-iron. So if I wouldn't putt through this because it's too, I don't know how the putter's going to come through there, but a little putting stroke with an 8-iron should work out just nicely. Started that one way too high, not a great shot, and I've still only got about 4 or 5 foot for the putt there. So 3 pretty terrible chips from greenside with a bump and run technique, and you can see pretty much all of them within 4 or 5 feet. dead easy shot. And yes, there's going to be some times that that shot doesn't fit this. But let's say the pin's at the back and I've got a bunker to carry, say just in front of us here. All I would do is take a more lofted club, hit it a little harder, let's say the pin's at the back of the green, or let's say the pin is where it is. So we're basically short-sided with a bunker in front of us. I'm going to play a long bump and run shot here that I know is probably going to be 20, 30 foot past, but I'm still going to have a putt. I mean, annoyingly that's hit that ball, but you could see that that was going to be a long way past the pin. But I'm putting. I haven't thinned it, I haven't duffed it into the bunker. It was a super easy shot to play and I'm putting. And if you use the putting tip that I've shown you in the video, you get that close the first time, you tap it in. It might be a bogey that you make, but it's a low score and you can get your handicap down. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is just to enjoy your golf. Nobody really cares what score you shoot or how far you hit your 7-iron. As long as you have fun, what does it matter? There's no point getting upset about a bad shot because you're only going to upset the other people that you're playing with. And to be honest, golf is a game about misses. And the more you miss, the more practice you get at managing your misses. And that's going to make you a better player. So at the end of the day, just have fun. So just to finish off the video, I did do some research on YouTube from other similar videos, and I thought I'd collect all the questions from the comment sections of those videos to see what were the most popular questions around this sort of thing. So the questions I found were, how many lessons have you had? In total, I've had 7. I had 2 right at the start of playing golf. I talked about this before in another video, and to be honest, they weren't much help. I was too new to golf. I didn't really have the understanding to take in what he was telling me. I should have just been practicing really my hand-eye coordination down the range. Since then, I've had 5 other lessons, and these have been pretty good. But to be honest, my wife's just had some lessons as well, and she said the same thing. I think our expectations were too high of them. I don't know what I was expecting from the coach, but they're not magic makers. They're just going to tell you what you're doing wrong, and then it's you that's got to fix it. And they can only tell you in small increments. And you can spend an hour with these people, and they can tell you what's wrong within 5 minutes. And then the other 55 minutes, you just end up chatting about football or whatever. So if you're going to go for lessons, temper your expectations. It's a long process getting better, and don't expect any miracles. This is why I'm such an advocate of swing tweaks, because if you want to just get the nuggets of what you get in a lesson, the information that's going to help you get better, swing tweaks will give you this for a fraction of the price, and you don't have to travel to see them. Like I said, it is a really good service, and I'll leave the details in the description below. How many times you go to the range per week? When I started, I'd say probably twice. Nowadays, probably once. But I try to get there every week just to keep greasing the groove, keep that feel fresh so that I don't become too rusty. What does your practice routine look like? To be honest, this just depends on what I'm struggling with at the moment. A couple of weeks ago, my short game was starting to go downhill, so instead of going to the range, I just went to a short game practice area and I just spent a couple of hours there for a couple of weeks and sharpened up my feel around the green, and that worked really well. At the minute, I'm just sort of feeling the driver doing the same, so I'll probably spend the next couple of weeks on the range just honing in that driver. I think what happens is, as you spend more time practicing, you raise your ceiling for each area of your game, but you also raise the floor, and you sort of oscillate between those 2 levels in each aspect of your game. For a long time, my driver's been up near the ceiling of where I'm at, and it's now starting to dip again back down to that raised floor, but it is still the floor. So I'll get back down the range and hopefully get that driver back on the way up. How many rounds do you play a month or year? I would say average is about 7 or 8, but sometimes that can be 4 in a month or 12 in a month, but I would say the average is about 7 to 8 times. Have you had any gear improvements, and is it worth it? I've talked about this before. I started with some really basic Callaway Big Bertha irons. They were 2005, I think. Cheap set of irons to start with, and then I bought the TaylorMade P790s about 6 months into golf. Would I recommend it? I really like the clubs, but I've only really used 2 sets of clubs, so would I buy them again? Yes. Do I know if they were really worth 10 times the price of what I paid for the Callaway Big Berthas? Honestly, not sure. But if you were to ask me if I would do it again, the answer would be yes. So I really hope this video has helped golfers. These are definitely the most key tips that I've implemented in order to get down to a single-digit handicap. If you have any other tips or any other questions, let me know down in the comments below. I check all the comments, so if there's anything in there that I need to reply to, I will. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.